Hi guys, it's Matt here, and welcome to my next Living with Bladder Exstrophy vlog videos that I'm making. And this one I'm going to tell a bit more about my life part 2. Now, why do I want to do this? I want to share my story as much as I can to people to get an understanding that life can be a struggle, but there's always can be light at the end of the tunnel for some people. I haven't found that yet, and it's been hard, but I'm getting there slowly and surely. Like I said in my other vlog about this, that I was born with bladder exstrophy, and when I was born, my parents didn't know that I was going to be born with this condition, and when they found out when I was born, it was shock on everybody in my family, but we came it, and it was a journey ever since. Life for me has been very difficult, and this is going to be a very negative story, but it needs to be told, and people need to listen to. There are people out in this world with bladder exstrophy that had a perfect, wonderful life, and that is great to hear, but there are some of us that have had a bad start in life, and I'm one of them. You know, just sharing this content is gonna be a lot. I don't know if this is going to be practical for children to listen, but if they do listen, make sure that there is parental guidance in this, because I'm going to be touching on subjects that are going to be very sensitive, and a lot is going to be just sad in parts. And I touched on this on my other one about it, but I want to try and go into more detail on this. You see, I was bullied at school on a daily basis, and my brain has blocked out my childhood altogether, which is not good. You know, I've heard stories, and these are stories from my parents that I remember, and not good. Like I said, I was bullied on a daily basis at school, and it's not fun. It's not nice for children to bully children, but it happens, and I was a weak target. I was a weak person. I didn't have any strength. They focused on all the problems that I had. I didn't do well at school at all either, and I struggled through my education. They would tease me daily, and it got really bad. One day, I've already mentioned this before, but I want to try and tell you again that I nearly died on the playground. And when I hear that as an adult now, I am devastated that something like that had happened. You know, how can a child, other children, find something like a rope and wrap it around another person's neck? Like, what have I done wrong for them to pick on me and then find, oh, let's do this to him? You know, I've already been through too much crap in my life, had a rough start in life, and for them to do that to me, that was just not on. No wonder I have a lot of mental trauma. You know, that's part of it, you know, being bullied on a daily basis, being named, called, being whatever kids do to bully people. And I was their target because I was the weak one out. I had no friends to back me up. and I still have not many friends at all in my life, and that's hurts me a lot. You know, it's a struggle for me to find friends as well, because I don't really trust. I gotta build that trust. I gotta build it before I really commit into that relationship with friendship. Because what I went through, no child should go through being bullied and then having their pants pulled down, showing off my genitalia. That's not nice, you know. The school really didn't do anything about it, and I was bullied right up until the last day of school in high school. No one cared about me, and it's things like that that play havoc in your memory. And I've got no memory of all the bad things, which is a good thing, but I've also got no memory of happy things, and that really is a hurtful thing for me. You know, I've had dramas all through my life with medical things. Like, my mother told me a story that I was in hospital, had surgery done, and they came to me and they looked at some stitches that I had, and they were like, okay, it's ready for them to come out. So the nurse in charge, the matron, apparently got 4 other nurses because I was squirming too much, and they held me down to pull out stitches out of a child that's already scared, that's already had trauma of being in surgery. You know, they've held me down like I was some ravaged animal, which I'm not, and started pulling out these stitches. I was screaming my head off. My mother was getting really upset, and when I hear about that now and I think about it and reflect on it, that really affects me, and it really hurts badly deep down, because that shouldn't really happen, and it's a struggle to try and not think about what happened like that, but it does, and it's something that shouldn't really happen. Honestly, they should have given me some meds to calm me down or something. Nothing like that happened. But from the miracle of God, we are so lucky that my urologist was coming down the hall. And this is what my mother told me, word by word. He heard my screams. He knew my voice, who it was. And he came storming down. He was angry. And he told those nurses to get off me and go to their office now. And apparently my mother said that he could hear him yelling and screaming at him in the office. And my mum said she never saw those staff members again the next day. They weren't around. Just by the grace of God, I'm lucky that my urologist came in and calmed everything down. And he said, right, we're going to send him into the OR to remove these stitches under anaesthetic, because they already put me under too much trauma to continue on, apparently. So, that happened, and it's not the only medical problem I had. I can remember back in 2012, these are vivid, not vivid, but little bits of memory floating here and there of what happened when I was in the emergency department of the hospital, waiting to have things done so I could get up to the ward. And the ER nurse came over and said, it's time for us to insert your catheter. Indwelling catheter, yeah, right, yeah. And here and behold, I had an erection. But she kept on saying, why you got one? Why are you so hard? Why are you like this? Do you always get like this? And she kept repeating it. I was bright red in the face. I could not defend myself. And that sucks so badly because I didn't know how to defend myself. I didn't know how to take control of the situation. And I just don't know how to erase those out of my head. You know, it's sad that happened and I've got no control. And then she goes, do you have troubles with your catheter? I'm like, I couldn't respond to her because I was so pitied and brought down so much that I closed off everything. I couldn't communicate. And that still haunts me to this day. I'm still worried that if staff see me, I'm worried that they talk about me behind my back about my problem and how I look and I'm different and he's always got problem and so I don't know, you know. I try and not let this bugger me, but it does. And you know, it's been so hard to control my life, but it's when you've got things like this happen. Like recently, last year, I was in hospital and every time the staff members would come to me, they wouldn't use my name. They'd just go, hi, how are you? And treat me like just like a number and not a name. You know, I felt like I was a number and they were treating other people with dignity and using their names and all that, but they weren't for me. And I can't help it if, you know, but I was so lucky that I had the strength to say I stood up for myself that day. And I'm proud of myself because I stood up and wrote an email to the head of the nurses, and it helped me to focus on all of that happened. And I thought I was in the right direction on that, you know. I'm always gonna hate hospital. I'm always gonna hate doctors and nurses, not the person, but the roles they are, you know. I hate the white sheets, I hate the white bed, those uncomfortable mattresses, and hospital food. Oh my word, it's the worst food on earth. And it's a struggle for me when I have to go to hospital or something. I'm over it. I'm just fully over it. You know, being prodded and being manipulated to do I'm over it. And, you know, just trying to focus on positives in life is so hard when you've got all these other dramas. And no wonder I have a lot of medical trauma as well. No wonder I have mental health. No wonder I have depression, anxiety, and all of that. No wonder I have dramas left, right and centre trying to deal with this. And I'm sorry that this is not what you wanted to see, but this is reality. And I'm not trying to paint a happy thought here. I know we've got to try and be happy and cheerful, but this is the reality of life, and we struggle sometimes, and this is my struggle in the life that I've had. I've also had dramas with my mother, and just a warning to you guys that this is going to be dealing with sexual trauma, and if you are too sensitive on this, please click just click away from this section, and just if it's gonna trigger you too much, or you don't want your child to hear this, just click away or tell someone to leave the room or something, because this is gonna hurt me as much as it's gonna hurt people that I've been through this. It's been hell. My mother used to make fun of me on a daily basis. She would make fun of the size of my penis, and she would do that on a daily basis. She used to say to me that you look so small, and no woman would want to be with you because of how small you are. And she would hold out her little finger and she'd go, "This is what you look like." That really has affected me still to this day. And she would just constantly target me in that department. And as a little boy, she would do it when I was a little boy. That's not nice at all. She would she would oh boy, sorry guys. She would just make fun of it all of the time, and every time I'd become erect, I wouldn't know what an erection was at this age, and she used to make fun of it because of the way it would look. She would focus on that, push my buttons all the time, and that's not nice at all. She would focus on it. When I used to be in the bathroom having a shower, she would always see my penis, and she would make fun of it, and she would just be constantly making fun of me, and then how I'd never be able to make a woman happy, and I would never be able to, and she used to make fun of me that I would never be able to have kids the normal way, and she'd make fun of me and she'd say a woman would never want you to be like with you because you can't do it naturally, and she would pick on that constantly, and that really has affected me still to this day. I'm over it, and I just don't know how to take this out of my life. You know, I know that I need to focus on positives in life, but when this has happened, this is not a good thing at all, because it can affect you as an adult, and it has. That's why I've never really gone out dating. I've always been worried that... And how do you explain bladder exstrophy to someone when it's so hard to? You know, oh, I've got this condition where I've got to self-catheterize and all that. That's so hard to try and say something. And you know, you don't... And then how do you explain, oh, I still wet the bed and still wet myself? You know, they'd be like, ew, who would want to be with you? You stink of urine. And it's true, I do stink of urine at times. I can't help that. My mother has painted this picture that no one's gonna take care of me like this. And it's wrong. And I'm over it. So frickin' over it. Sorry for the language, but this has driven me up so much. I just need to let go of all my feelings to tell you how I feel. I feel like crap. I feel like a failure. I feel like no one wants me. I feel like I can't make friends. I've only got a handful of friends, and I wish I had more people in my life to take me out and help me adventure life again. I miss having adventures in my life. My depression has dramatically dwindled badly, and it's pushed my bladder health to the side, and I'm not looking after my urinary self properly. I've got plenty of brand new catheters, but I'm not using them properly. I'm reusing, not changing them out. And I've got a drawer full of brand new catheters, and I'm not using them. I need to focus and do it, but I just have days where I just focus out. I zone out, and I don't want to be zoned out. You know, it's so annoying, and I wish I found my old ways again and focus back on the days I used to have. But it's been so difficult that I just don't know what else to do. Trying to find mental health help, it's been so difficult because it's so expensive and I can't afford it. You know, I wish it was cheap to see someone, but it's so expensive, and I need someone to talk to professionally, but because everything's so expensive, because I don't have the money, I'm not a rich person, because I didn't do well at school, I didn't do well at all. You know, I struggled, my English, math, everything I struggled with. Reading, I struggle with. I still do. My handwriting is shocking, and I wish I could focus on it more, but I try so hard that it doesn't work out. And I wish I was a smart person, but I'm not. You know, I've wanted to do nursing. I've always wanted to do nursing, but I'm not smart enough to do it. And I stress out on doing the most basic paperwork, and that's not good, because, you know, the most simplest things I can stress on, and that's not good at all. I'm over it. And, you know, I just wish I had more help. I wish I had better support from my family, but I just don't get it anymore. And I try and ask for support with the communities, but I feel like I'm not being listened to anymore, and I give up. You know, I don't want to give up. I want to continue making all these videos trying to help people, but I don't think it's ever gonna be the same. That, I don't know, I'm just so frickin' over it, you know? I wish my dad would listen to me more, but he doesn't. He doesn't want to know about my condition anymore. He doesn't want to know about my mental health. He doesn't know about my mental health. He's allowed to talk about his stuff. He never allows me to talk about my stuff anymore. He's like, oh yeah, and then flicks me off. And I'm like, I think about it, and I'm like, really? I'm hurting here, and he doesn't want to help me. And that really drives me crazy. And I just wish life was so much easier. So much easier for myself. But it's not. It's been hard. Why is it got to be so hard all the frickin' time? I'm over it. I'm over it. You guys are just... I'm sorry that this has been a bad video, but in reality, this is life. And this is how things can happen sometimes. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world. Blessings from Australia. Okay guys, I'll see you later. Bye bye.